Good afternoon. Welcome to H3 TV, where I try to get here every week, but has not happened for a few weeks, and just share stories of hope, health, and happiness, in particular as we go through storms in life. Um, and so I don't know where we are connected, if it's on YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, but this week's guest was unable to make it. I'm not sure what happened to her, but she did not show up. And so I decided I'm going to go forward without her. So today's focus is about weathering the storms. H3 TV comes to you ideally every week as a talk show that was started during COVID to help people have hope, health, and happiness through adversity, change, and challenge, which I have faced much of in my life. But it has allowed me to learn lessons that I can pass on and pay forward to you. So today I'm just going to chat with you briefly and then visit you next week with a new guest. So today what I was thinking about is, what is the greatest storm you have faced in your life? What do you consider a storm? So is it a diagnosis? Is it a death? Is it a job change or a move? Is it a literal storm that you've gone through, a flood or a fire or a tornado or a hurricane? What sort of storms have you faced? And have they affected you professionally, with losing employees or losing a job? Have they affected you personally with losing your health or your vision for your future? A friend of mine's spouse got in a car accident, and they write often about how much you take for granted until you can't, how you take for granted standing up or grabbing something or using your hands or using your sight, and then how suddenly that's gone and it gives you a new perspective. And what I'm always curious about is, what are you doing and what are you focused on? So I think on Monday morning or Saturday morning, I went out for a walk and I made a video live on YouTube. Unfortunately, it did not work and go through, but as I was walking to the beach, what used to be a beautiful park is now piles of debris and garbage. And not only does it look bad, but it smells really bad. And so this peaceful paradise becomes this stressful sadness. So as I was walking across debris and glass and metal and garbage and dead fish to get to the ocean to walk, I was feeling sad. And then I walked just a bit further and just the devastation. We had some friends with this weekend. And I think you can't know how bad it is through pictures unless you're here. And so they saw the not only hundreds, but thousands of houses that are tipped upright, that are missing, that have not been cleaned up or remodeled or done anything, that people have walked away. They didn't have flood insurance, or they didn't have wind insurance, or they didn't have both, or they can't even afford to remove it, let alone repair it. And so there's a lot of devastation and sadness. And I was thinking about all that. And then I looked to the left, and there were like 9 of these huge storks diving in and out of the water. They were fishing, they were dancing above the water, they were playing, and didn't have a care in the world. And I was thinking, so much of how we face storms in life is what we focus on. So when I was focused to the right, all I could see and smell was the sadness and the debris and the devastation of what has happened on our island. But as I look to the left, the water is beautiful and the birds are flying and fishing and enjoy and even bickering with each other, but over who gets the fish. And I think perspective is such a huge, important thing. And then I love to watch comedy, and I was watching comedy and I was thinking about comedy and motivation. I was thinking about mindset. Like, I'm always saying to people, and people have even not only made fun of me, but attacked me for not watching the news. But I do not watch the news. I don't watch it. I don't read about it. Occasionally I watch 60 Minutes because I always feel like it's a little less bias and it gives you 2 sides and just more information. But what we focus on, we see, right? And so I'm super intentional with that, in particular, that morning routine, having devotional time, having time of movement, having time of exercise, something to take care of yourself first thing in the morning. So you kind of set the stage. So I'm always curious, how do you start your day and how do you end your day? So if you start with news or end with news, it is sitting on your mind as you first start your day, but also as you end your day and close your eyes. So it's really important what you read. I'm reading a few good books right now, and I'm always reading a business book or thinking about that, but also personal development or inspiration, or journaling on that. And So when we go through storms, what I was thinking about today is, what is your strategy before the storm comes? Do you have a good support system? Do you have a good rhythm and routine to your life? Do you look for and seek out positive things to listen to read, to look at, to surround yourself with people that are positive? Because all of those things help set you up for success in the midst of the storm. And I probably get 10 to 20 people a week that ask me, can I pick your brain about speaking, about success, about buying a business? And so I am creating and offering a few new things. I'm offering a mastermind that's going to be a monthly group, and we'll meet online 10 months of the year and 2 months of the year in person. I am creating a retreat this summer that's actually going to be on a cruise ship, a Virgin Cruise Line, out of Miami, which will be three days of kind of intensive pouring into you, answering your questions, building you up so that you can create your own successful business, successful life, successful relationships, successful rhythm and routine for going forward. Because without it, it's hard for life to be successful. And then I think that I'm going to start a membership. I think for now it's going to be free. Once we get to 100 people, I will probably start charging for it on Facebook, which is going to be a group about Ask Annie Anything. I know so many people want to know about the success of my speaking business, about my past professional climbing the corporate ladder with 5 promotions in 9 years in the financial world, or about my success in owning 2 gyms, and being able to buy one that was literally, the man told me he had been hemorrhaging, and that he had been bleeding for months and he was hemorrhaging now, and to take it and make it number 4 in the nation. So that was a franchise. And so a year later, we built our second franchise, and 5 years later, we sold our first, and 11 years later, we sold our second. But we were in that health and wellness franchise industry for 12 years, and you face a lot of adversity. And as an owner, there's a lot of assumptions, not only about money, but assumptions about all the things you can do. And you are trying to pour into your clients, manage your staff, encourage your staff, build them up, put them as the face of sometimes, and you're more behind the scenes of what's happening. But there's so many things that people come to me in questions, and I'm like, I'd rather have one place. And so in my head right now, I'm thinking Tuesdays with Annie, Tuesdays at 2, come to me with your questions. So I don't have time to have coffee with everybody or meet everybody. I do have individual coaching clients and people that hire me to consult with their organization or coach them personally. And those are paid opportunities. But I don't mind supporting people and helping people. I just can't spend so many hours answering questions. And I have a lot of answers for how to shortcut your journey to success, to referral, to growth in whatever kind of business you're in, whether it's a franchise or a speaking business or writing your first book. And so if you're interested in that, let me know and I will connect you with the link. Maybe I'll put it in the comments below. But today, I just wanted to come and say, have strategies. The way that I stay hopeful and healthy and happy is that it has to be premeditated prior to the storm. And that doesn't mean I don't have sadness and even days of being overwhelmed in storms that we face. And whether that's, saying goodbye to our sweet puppy that has happened in the last month and was very sad, whether it is not having as many bookings one week as I wish I did, whether it is facing a literal storm of a hurricane, whatever those storms are that you face, having a plan before helps you to stay hopeful, healthy, and happy. Having a way that you know how to be hopeful, to look back at all that you've overcome, all the challenges, all the adversity, all the different things. I meet people all the time that say, hey, I went through this one thing, this one challenge in a relationship or in my health, and I am just having a hard time with it. And no due respect, I think that whatever we go through matters. But to build that muscle of strength in the face of adversity, challenge, and change, we have to pay attention to everything we face, from the small to the large, and think about what was the lesson in it. What strategies did I use to not only get through it and survive it, which is good and important, but I want you to not just get through. I want you to do more than just survive and even thrive. What I want you to do is, whatever storm you face, to come out of it with gratitude for the lessons you learned, with the joy and with the generosity of spirit, knowing that that adversity, that challenge, that storm, however you want to call it, can be used for good to help other people when they face their storm, if you are willing to be open and transparent. I was talking to another person this week, and they were talking about their child being an addict and how they never tell anybody. Another situation that happened was somebody was telling me, so that was a child with addiction. Somebody else was telling me that they tell everyone their child died by accident, but they know that it was suicide. And how do I so openly talk about suicide? But in my mind, if we don't talk openly, removing the shame and stigma around mental health, around addiction, around suicide, around unplanned pregnancy, around whatever keeps you in shame, kind of pushed down and hidden, that fuels you. Shame will fuel you, but it will not fuel you for your best. It will fuel you bitter and negative and wanting to get and not wanting to give. But when you allow yourself to, hey, I've been through some hard stuff. It does not define me. It's not the only thing I talk about. I don't talk about it with victim mindset and poor me, but instead I talk about it with hope and what is possible and how we can use the trauma, tragedy, and challenges of our life to be better, to overcome. I remember when our gym grew to number 4 in the nation, and the man had said, we've been bleeding for months and now I'm hemorrhaging. Good luck to you, very sarcastically. And I think when people bet against us, when life even bets against us or challenges, we can use that to shut down, to live in shame and sadness, or we can use it as fuel to become. So when people say that won't work out for you or that's silly, I hear I dare you. And when I hear I dare you, it actually catapults me to be motivated to do more and be more in my life. And so I hope this helps. I hope that H3 TV comes into your office or into your home or onto your phone, and it reminds you that we all face storms, that we all have challenges, but we always, always have a choice with what we will do with them. We can be sad. I am not in any way saying don't be sad. Be sad. Give yourself space to grieve, but at the same time, don't live in the sadness. Don't fall in love with the sadness. Don't get stuck in it. Use it as fuel to become all that you are meant to be. And I like to encourage you and support you on that journey through my speaking, through my coaching, consulting, masterminds, and retreats, that I can help guide you, whatever you're walking through, professionally or personally, to become all that you were meant to be and to create the life where you live and how you live, to create all of that in that vision into a plan, which ultimately becomes a reality. So I'm Annie Meehan, CSP with H3 TV, reminding you to take care of yourself first, because you bring all of you to the workplace and that affects your workplace culture. Thanks for being with me today, and have a wonderful week.